microtransactions, and
DRM.
Downloadable content.
What's up, gamers? Welcome to the Lawful Gamer. My name is Kevin, and you saw the title of this video. So a quick rundown. We have Mr. Blitzchung here, who during a Hearthstone tournament basically held up a sign, said, you know, free China, free Hong Kong, excuse me. And Blizzard decided to ban him for a year, and of course they decided that the money he earned for the tournament, by winning the tournament, he was not eligible for. This, of course, then started a bunch of controversy, especially because Blizzard's saying is every voice matters. Apparently not voices from oppressed countries. And then, of course, there was, they basically dicked around, didn't say anything. They came out with a statement that was basically half-ass. I can't even say it was a generic PR response. It was just half-ass within of itself. It clearly just shows how un-American Blizzard is reacting to this whole situation. Because, you know, the idea that any other human being would want the same freedoms, or freedoms, not just America, because America isn't the only country out there that has the same freedoms as we do. Apparently that's ridiculous in the eyes of Blizzard. So yeah, so then they dropped his suspension to 6 months, and they said he was now entitled to his money, which is completely fucking stupid. He fucking won it in the first place. I highly doubt that their rules state that we can withhold your prize money. Yeah, I doubt that. I could be wrong. I haven't read it, but I doubt it. So then this jumps into these gentlemen right here. We talked to Hearthstone pro players who are quitting the game in protest. So they basically did, as you can see from this tiny screenshot right here, they did the same thing. And this article came out on the 9th, and there was silence. Nothing done to them. And then in ever glorious, stupid Blizzard fashion, they have decided to now officially ban the 3 individuals that decided to do this for 6 months. Which is stupid, because apparently Blizzard hasn't been keeping up with the news, because they already quit the game in protest. You can't suspend or ban someone for 6 months when they decided that because you didn't treat us the way you unfairly treated Blitzchung in this whole situation, we quit. I mean, this is the equivalent you going to your boss, telling him that today is going to be your last day, and then later that day he comes to you and fires your ass. That's literally what we're talking about right here. That's how stupid this is. But the stupidity only jumps further down the rabbit hole, ladies and gentlemen. In a letter to Chambers, Blizzard said that, well, every voice matters at Blizzard, and we strongly encourage everyone in our community to share their viewpoints in the many places available to express themselves. An official broadcast was not that venue, as it needs to be a place where all are welcome to Blizzard. Supporting the protest violates that. A reaction that's perfectly in line with Blizzard's ongoing policies is fine. Politics is fine, just not here. Mantra. And of course, if you've been keeping up with this, people have been pointing out the hypocrisy of this entire, not this particular statement, but statements similar to this one, where Blizzard is political themselves. LBGT community, all right? If he had held up a sign, nothing would have happened to him. If the 2 Americans had held up a sign, nothing would have happened to them. We need someone to change what these gentlemen did, and they need to do something in a difference. Hold up a political sign that is more relevant to America. It could be anything. I mean, hold up a sign, Black Lives Matter, all right? Blue Lives Matter. Let's see, what else can we... LBGT Lives Matter. Whatever it is you want to do it. That's going to be the real challenge here. Because what they did, they just pretty much did the same thing as Blitzchung. So let's really test to see if Blizzard will stand to their iteration if someone held up a sign that said LGBT rights matter. Besides the fact that, you know, my way of thinking here is, I think Blizzard is misdefining this. This is how I see this. This whole protest has to do with the freedom of people, the freedom of communism. Now, the people at Blizzard, and when I say people, I'm talking about the bigwigs, the owners, the leaders, executive CEOs, whatever. They are damn well familiar with communism. They're damn well familiar with the the country that their business had the opportunity to start in because the country gave them that freedom. And here we have a country that does not have those same freedoms. And Blizzard is basically saying that, well, these protests violate that because, well, who gives a shit about human rights? That's basically what this says to me. This isn't something like Republicans versus Democrats. Not to mention, there was no foul language used. It was a simple sign. It didn't hurt anyone. And the fact that Blizzard has the audacity to say that they want a place where everyone is welcome, except if you want the people of China to be free from communism. Or, according to, if we were to, read this between the lines, if there was any country that violated human rights, well, you don't have the right to voice your concerns on that on our stream because, well, those bitches ain't got no rights. I'm telling you, the shit needs to happen. The next thing I want to see in the news is they have this giant tournament or whatever, and everyone is fucking holding up some random sign. Blue lives matter, black lives matter, white lives matter. I don't give a shit what it is. Just be as political, but it all has to be American politics. It even has to be political stances that Blizzard themselves has known to agree with. The fact that we have a company here that wants to put the business rights before the human rights, it speaks volumes. It truly does. I also find it funny that they changed it. Every voice matters at Blizzard. So not every voice matters, only the voices at Blizzard and only the voices of the CEO, the XO, the owners of the company. Only those voices matter. But if you want to fight for any kind of freedom for people in another country, well, heaven forbid you hold up a sign because goddamn, that's somehow going to tell Chinese people that they're not welcome. Get the fuck out of here, Blizzard. I've exhausted myself talking about this because I've re-recorded it quite a few times. My overall thoughts and opinions on this is stupid. Once again, Blizzard waited too long. All right, it's the same example. I quit, you're fired that I said earlier. Completely pointless and stupid. And I'm telling you, what we need to really do is we need to test this with Blizzard. All right, we need to start seeing people holding up signs that are more along the lines of what Blizzard's own political views is that they have expressed themselves. Hypocrites, if you ask me. But also very inhuman for a group of people that have freedoms to sit here and say that even though this is a political issue and it's dealing with the freedom of its people from an oppressive system or leader, for them to sit there and say that you don't have the right and that somehow, well, because this is how I look at it. As if we look exactly at what they stated here, where the fuck did it go? That it needs to be a place where all are welcome. So they're basically saying that, like, they want to show the leader of China that his viewpoints, that communism is also welcome into the Hearthstone community. Not human decency, not freedoms, not fighting against oppression. What you're doing, China, is all right. Keep doing what you do. You are welcome to play Hearthstone, regardless of your viewpoints. And at the end of the day, it really just shows you how Blizzard's in the wallet of the Chinese leader. And the reason why I say this, because yes, I know where they have Chinese investors, is everything that they're saying just makes it seem like they're not in the pockets of Chinese investors, they're in the pockets of the leader. Like they're trying to please the leader of China. I mean, we're talking about a protest for the rights of people. How is an American company who has rights so ignorant and arrogant and oblivious to this fact? I recently heard that people start purchasing and playing Hearthstone again, or they start purchasing microtransactions, take your pick, whatever it is. No, they haven't learned their lesson, ladies and gentlemen. If you want this company to take these kind of situations seriously, and I'll inherently say that I agree that, if somebody were to, if Blitzchung lived in America, like he was a Chinese American, and he had held up a sign that said, I support Trump, and they wanted to do their ban, and they did it properly, and I'll be like, I agree with it. Not because I don't agree with Trump. I would expect the exact same treatment for someone that held up a sign that supports Hillary. And they were like, no politics in you. Then I could agree to that. But if somebody was to sit there and hold up a sign, free Hong Kong, or maybe we could do some kind of example closer to home that where it was fighting human rights, I don't see a problem with that. And I think that's the biggest problem is that, you know, yes, I get that by what we would look at, this is a political aspect. But the bigger picture here is that this is a political aspect that is fighting for people's human rights, for some decencies. This isn't like, oh, I'm a supporter of Trump or I'm a supporter of Hillary. Woohoo! It's nothing like that. Those are two completely different political aspects. And I could tell you right here, an American company should definitely be more willful and accepting of this kind of political message than the other kind. Because we're talking about human decency and treating people like goddamn humans. But then again, this is the company where every voice matters, except if you're at Blizzard, that's the only voice that matters. And well, you know, we have to make sure that people that believe in communism, they get the message they're welcome to play Hearthstone.